Hi, Scrappy friends. It is Iris here with a layout for the Get It Scrap creative team. We had this assignment to use a photo that we took ourselves and use the space in that photo as our design inspiration. This one I was really attracted to. I took this of my husband. I was on a ledge up on a restaurant looking down, and I loved the asphalt in the background and then these arcs formed by the ledge and the sidewalk and the gutter. I really loved how that background and foreground played with each other. I picked this photo of my daughter when she was 8 and some papers that went with the blue tones in her shirt. So there I went and cut the branding strips off and started playing. My original thought was to use this ombre paper because I liked that asphalt look was kind of crackly and mottled. So I started off at this as the background, and the plus paper just as fun, and so are the stripes. So here I am freehand cutting some arcs. I wanted this to be very playful. I wasn't concerned about having anything straight at all. So I just started with this. And then I brought in, most of this stuff is from Coco Vanilla Studio and Simple Stories. Those are the two main manufacturers' products that I used on this layout. And I just felt that they were very appropriate for the tone that I was going for. Very playful. This is my daughter. She's very boisterous and happy. And this picture was when she went geocaching with my husband, and they had found, sometimes in the geocache they find little toys or something, and she really wanted to keep it, but they, etiquette is if you take something, you put something in, and they didn't have anything to replace it with. And she's always said she wanted to go back for that one. But anyway, she was really happy. You can see how she loved that little thing. And here I've been putting some acetate stars in the background because I was thinking maybe I would title this layout something about "You Are a Star." And then also just grabbing cute ephemera that reminds me of her, things that she likes, like popsicle. Um, Later on you'll see a watermelon, and these little diamonds seemed really appropriate. It's about my little treasure. That was I had a sheet from Evolicious that I didn't end up using, but that's in the corner there. And after I tried out some of this ephemera, oh, there's the watermelon and lemonade. She likes to do a lot of things with juice. So after I tried out this ephemera, I was feeling like it wasn't really popping where it was. So my idea was to have these tiers, these arcs that forming tiers, and the ephemera wasn't popping up against that striped paper, so I decided to just put it up against the background paper, and that looks pretty good. It's in fact, looking at it right now, I think it looks better than I thought it did at the time. But I decided, let me go ahead and concentrate on the other parts of the design and leave the ephemera for, I'm not going to keep fiddling with ephemera forever. So I went in my stash of alphas and I got these denim alphas from We Are Memory Keepers. It's been my stash forever. They are the positive and negatives cut out of this denim. And it's not quite the tone of her shirt, but I really wanted something that would pop. So I decided to go with these, and it's sort of off camera, but it was a little hard to figure out you can't tell which letter's which because the positive and the negative are all there. It's all die cut basically. So I just had to keep peeling them off until I found the right ones, and I did them alternating the positive negatives. And then I also had denim paper, probably my stash the same amount of time as that alpha. And I put it up against here, and I really liked how that contrasted. So I wasn't convinced about the backgrounds, but I I went to sleep and I came the next day and I did a few things. I grabbed different papers and I settled on this Coco Vanilla Studio paper that has these little triangles, all multicolored triangles in the background. And I liked how that sort of mimicked the crackle of the asphalt. Not really, but you know, in my head. And you can see I stitched along the curves of the denim and the striped papers. The striped one has blue stitching and the denim has white. It's all about contrast in this layout. I think that really makes things stand out the most. And I wasn't concerned about placing the title too, you know, too straight or anything, because again, it's playful. If you remember from my inspiration photo, there are 3 arcs, 3 tiers. So I debated and I just pulled in white, and it's immediately when I put it here between the other 2 papers, I thought that is it. So you saw that I put the little bicycle on there to just test, and it really makes it stand out. So I went off camera and stitched an orange line on the white because I like blues and oranges together. And excuse me, I still have this cold cough thing. It's driving me crazy. I'm trying to make sure I don't cough too much or anything on this video. So I went ahead and cut the striped paper, and I purposefully, if you noticed, if you remember from my inspiration photo, I have this foreground and background, and the foreground was all the arcs, and they were all pretty much on the bottom third of the photo. So that's why I cut that the way I did. And here I am finally choosing and placing the ephemera that's going to actually stay on the layout. I still wasn't sure if I would be placing the photo. See, I'm still fiddling with the photo placement there, but I finally settled on having it up against the denim. So here I'm cutting off more at the bottom there and committing. Yeah, I was using this broken adhesive. It was driving me crazy. So I alternate between that one and the score tape. I think I'm not going to use that adhesive anymore. It's just a broken roll. But you know, you want to use up all the last smidgen of everything you've got, right? Here I brought in very briefly the stars, and then I felt no, I want to preserve the background as a background, so I didn't want to put any ephemera on it. And then I brought up that little piece that says shine, which I think will help balance out the design. I just wanted something up above rather and not have everything below, but I didn't want to put it on the background like I said. And here I'm just playing, picking things that remind me of my daughter, being playful. That one that says Hello Sunshine, one of the songs that I sing to her is You Are My Sunshine, so that was a no-brainer. Pinwheels are fun, the balloons are fun. She loves watermelons and all that good stuff. So this was a very fun step because I had the design basically worked out. Now, up above there, you can see I was well, now I'm gluing things down, but I put a little flower and I just wasn't sure what I was going to do with that. And you'll see later on how I end up solving that one. But here I am. Oh, I found my adhesive roller that actually works. Now, that top layer there, for 2 reasons, I decided to prop up on foam. One, I thought it would give the die cuts some more breathing space. The shadowing would be, you know, just give it more depth. And two, I wanted to emphasize from my inspiration photo how there was definitely a foreground, and that was the ledge that I was leaning on. Took the picture so you could see part of it. So I popped that up on foam, and I really love how that gives it some more depth. I didn't prop up any of the ephemera though, because they're all in one line. So, as I said, I cut it so that most of the stuff was basically on the bottom 2/3, maybe bottom, yeah, bottom third, sorry. And that meant that I had hardly any space for journaling. I knew ahead of time I didn't have tons of journaling. I wrote it out on a random notepad, but I did need a little more than I originally gave myself. So here I am moving the alphas up a little bit to give myself more room. And then I was hesitant writing directly on a paper, you know, it's just like, what am I gonna mess up? What am I? So I just finally had to force myself to just do it because it's a playful layout, and you know, if I messed it up, I could cut it again. Not that I wanted to, you know, you get to the point where this is almost the last step and you're like, oh, I did all that work. I don't want to mess up the background. But anyways, I wrote it. It was good. And I've been using a Micron, I think it's a .2 size black pen, and it stands out enough. It's very legible, and stands out even up against that striped background, striped paper, but doesn't call attention to itself, which is good because, you know, I just wasn't sure about the placement and how messy and whatnot, but it worked out. I like it. So now I am just getting the glue down on the last little bits that haven't had any adhesive yet. And then I'm going to dress that little corner there. I was having trouble because I glued it down with the score tape, but handy dandy undo helped me out. And I fiddled with a few little flowers and leaves until, oh, I even added another little piece down there because there was there's a blank spot. And I finally settled on this combination of that yellow flower and the little leaf. And then I go off camera and I stitched it. So it's like almost like a little pocket, and then the little flower sticking out. And here we go. Some close-ups. And then the still photos are coming up. I'll have a link to the Get It Scrap blog where you can see the write-up for this layout and other creative team members' inspiration photos and the resulting designs. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. See you next time.